My hat's off to you. Don't stop. I think that beliefs plus action, the action has to be consistent.
You know what my problem was? I realized what I was supposed to say when I hang up the phone.
I do listing presentations on homes that I've never seen. Yeah, that's what we do in real estate.
Mhm.
First of all, I want to commend you, okay? Because if you think about where you came from, that list that you sent me, right? That list of how your previous employer made you, excuse me, brought you to a place where you perceived yourself the bottom of the list,
Okay.
okay?
Uh-huh.
Versus the list that you made as to why you are valuable. And
Mhm.
and when did you make the valuable, when did you make this list, the valuable list?
Over the last couple of weeks, I think it's
Right,
Saturday or
right,
Sunday.
right. So consider that you've been doing this for a month. My hat's off to you. Don't stop.
Okay. So I'm not
Don't
quitting getting a job as a waitress, right?
part. No,
Okay.
don't stop.
Hmm.
Um, because if you think about it this way, Elizaveta, you've only just started that perception of yourself. I mean, how old are you? You don't have to tell me, but think about your age, right?
29 is not a secret.
All right. So for 29 years, have you had the beliefs on top of that email, or would you say that you've carried the beliefs on the bottom of the email?
No, I carried the beliefs on the bottom of my email where so the situation was that the people that I worked with kind of perceived me as I owe them, that like they have so many agents to choose from and they picked me, so now I owe them. And I truly believed that. And it took me a couple of years and a lot of help to
Yeah.
realize that that might be not the right approach for my life in general.
So you've
Mhm.
come a long way. It took a couple of years for you to discover that. Now the underlying beliefs are changing. Now it's time to cash in on
Mhm.
that. And, if you think about it, like how long do doctors go to school?
I'm not sure in the US, but a long time.
A long time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my point, right? So it's a long time. And anything worth doing, it's people look at like, sports stars or sports legends and they say, oh, wow, they're an overnight success. So, I mean, yeah, we could get frustrated. It's very daunting for me to consider the idea of presenting a lot in front of people. And I could get frustrated and it's very easy. That's just not me. And go back to what's easy for me, right? You have things in your life that are easy for you. I'm sure,
Mhm.
right? I'm sure you can think of some things. And yet, if I'm not uncomfortable, am I growing?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I want you to know this. You really inspire me. And yet you inspire me because you're not giving up. Keep going because I guess where you said you could continue to make the calls and you could practice more. What does that look like? Because I would agree that the more we practice is the quicker that we're going to get up to speed.
A question for you. So I am role playing. I'm on that Aaron's role play schedule that
Yep.
they have at 30 and at 11:30. What I have experienced is that a lot of people don't show up for
Uh-huh.
the especially for the one for the listing presentation. Uh, is there another place where I can find role play to make it like
Yeah.
super consistent?
Yeah. So what I would do is I would get into the WhatsApp chats and I would say, I am very serious about fill in the blank. And I want to state your intention. And then who wants this as much as me? I'm looking for multiple role play partners. When you're on our mastermind call, when people are showing up, their intentions are there also. The ones that are not showing up, there's there's no value there. So I would start posting it in those locations and say, who's as serious as I am about setting expired appointments, about, getting listings from this lead source, and then see who comes to the surface.
Okay.
Because the people that are serious, they will raise their hand.
Mhm.
And just you putting it out there makes a big difference. That, and if you notice, like even just our prospecting room, is there a reason that you don't turn your video on?
I'm being shy, that's it.
Okay. Because if you notice, like MJ and Liz, they're putting it out there, right? Remember what Jessica and I learned from this also, what she shared. What are we afraid of? We might look a little foolish. Oh, well, what if someone sees you doing something and then they give you an idea as to how it could be different? So these are steps that move us through our fear and into our confidence. And so when people see you turning your camera on, pretty clear, she means business. She's showing up. And then when you post, I'm looking for someone who seriously wants this as much as I do, it's just a thought.
Okay.
Okay?
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I uh I think that beliefs plus action, the action has to be consistent. It's like, I mean, Aaron said to me the other day, he said, just go do this. Just go and do this. And I'm going to trust that and I'm going to do it. So keep taking the action. I know that you'll get the role play partners. I know that. Particularly, do it in the chats that time-wise make sense. Like the Florida or the East Coast. Um, put that out there and you'll come across them. What else is cooking for you right now? You shared last week, I remember you shared after our role play that there was a shift that you were
Yeah.
keeping people on the phones longer.
Mhm.
So now where are these conversations going now? That's because that's huge. If you can keep people
A
on.
a lot of the conversations I'm having are not going too far, I'll be honest with you.
All right.
Usually goes to the point where we are not selling. Not even to we are not selling. I've had some people telling me that they already have an agent that they signed with, and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
I did have a couple of like interesting conversations where I think with more practice it could have had a different outcome.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah,
Tell me
sure.
what.
Because you know what my problem was? I realized what I was supposed to say w- when I hang up the phone.
Yeah. Did you make a note about it? Okay, so what was it? Let's tell me what it was that you discovered.
So one was an older lady. I don't know how old she is, but she's definitely retired, and she had a property here in Fort Lauderdale, which she needed to sell, which is vacant and it's not
Hmm.
selling. And as I was talking to her, I was trying to push her for the appointment from different angles multiple times.
Hmm.
The issue was that she was not able to go to the property from about 1.5 hours drive from the
Okay.
property. I think she was in Boca Raton because
Okay.
she's taking care of her sister. And I couldn't come up with a solution in that time.
Okay. What is the solution that you thought of when you hung up the phone?
Number one, I can go and pick it up, or which is even easier, is that she can mail it to me. The key. I mean, the key.
Ah,
Uh, Another challenge that I was thinking about as I was talking to her, like in this case, I would suggest a Zoom appointment, but I'm not sure if is she's able to get on Zoom, like if she knows how to do it, basically.
well, did you ask her?
Mm.
Okay.
I
So, yeah, and I guess now that we realize this, I mean, I've had situations where people will say to me, no, I don't know how to do Zoom. And I'm saying, I'm curious if I could send you a link and then we were on the phone and I just guided you through it, that way I could go over the information that so that you could see the information and we could see exactly what it's going to take to get that property sold. Remember, pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure, right? Is that would that help you?
Yeah,
Let's make this easy on you. I want to make this so that it's easy on you. But ask her about the Zoom, call her back.
I will.
Yeah, say, I've been thinking about you and just how this has is affecting you. You've been on my mind a lot, and I really want this to go well for you. I'm curious. So there's no key at the property, correct?
No,
I'm curious, is there a neighbor that kind of keeps an eye on the property for you? Do they have a key? A lot of times people have that neighbor. Is there a family member that lives local that has access? Is there anyone else that lives local that has access? And then, because if if I were to describe my home to you, Elizaveta, do you feel confident enough that you could do a CMA on it without having seen it?
I'd say 50-50.
And what would you say is keeping you from feeling 100% about that?
Practice.
If you were to get enough information about her property, and then you were to send that information to me, and we were to have a conversation about it, we could figure that out, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's not make that something that keeps you from. All right. And the other thing is I've done CMA presentations, and what I'll do is when I go to grab comps, I'll have them describe the home. I got to tell you, 9 times out of 10, they describe the home to me, I'm going to find the CMA that's like spot on. But in all reality, if I'm still a little unsure and they're describing the home and I'm not clear on it, then maybe I'm going to pick. Remember how I showed you that we're going to look at the whole spread of everything that's sold in the area, and then I'm going to hit the stat button on MLS. You have one of those, right? Where it shows the low, average, and high of the solds. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to look at the low price per square foot, and I'm going to say, as long as it's close in square footage, and I'm going to say, all right, well, what characteristics does this property have? And I'm going to look at the high, and then I'm going to look at what's been selling at the average, and based on what their description to me has been, which is most similar. And then I'm going to do the CMA presentation, and as I do the CMA presentation, the listing presentation, I'm going to be asking these questions. So please help me because I haven't been to your home. I'm going to rely on you. Please let me know as we look at these pictures, would you say that this home is similar, not as nice, or nicer than your home? And they're going to be honest about it. So then as they say, oh, that one looks similar because it's got similar age cabinets, it's got similar age kitchen, it's got updated flooring just like mine. That one's similar. Then next to each comparable, as I go through it, I'm going to write down similar, not as nice, nicer. So quite frankly, I do listing presentations on homes that I've never seen. And if you can just get them to categorize if it's a one, two, or three home, Elizaveta, everybody wants a one home. It's brand new or it is uh, completely renovated. And 98% of the buyers that go in that home want that home. Or is your home a number two? A number two home would be it's dated and yet it's clean move-in condition. Like someone could move in and not do anything to that home and they could live in it. And then they might say, you know what? Let's just replace the kitchen in time. Let's just do the flooring in time because this flooring is clean and I feel comfortable in this home. And what that home is allowing that buyer to do is get a foothold in a community, and maybe they're not paying as much as a number one home. So 95% of our buyers want that home. And then the third home is in ill repair. It has deferred maintenance and it needs work. Work that's going to keep it from getting insurance, right? Maybe the roof is bad, maybe it's had leaks, or maybe it's got wood rot, and there's problems with the home. That's a number three home. So I'm curious, of these three homes that I've just described to you, which category does your home fall into? And
Mhm.
then just listen. And they're going to tell you. And then with that information now, you're going to also ask these questions. You're going to ask, can you describe to me, have you done any updates to the home that could make it more valuable? How old's the air conditioning, the roof, the hot water heater? Have you done any updates to the bathrooms? I noticed the home was built in 1967. Is the kitchen original? Are the bathrooms original? Well, now you know what you're looking for. You can find that in the MLS, right? Yeah. So my question to you is, is the idea of having to do a perfect CMA keeping you from setting an appointment? That's a
Um,
belief.
I think it's both. Never actually presenting the listing presentation and the CMA because
Okay.
I, with the CMA, my one of my things is that I feel responsible for like telling people that I'm able to sell their home and then not being on point with the CMA.
Okay.
And in terms of listing presentation, I've never actually presented it.
Okay.
It's and the times when I winged it, it kind of didn't work out in the past. But with the listing presentation, I agreed with myself that I know it, and if something's going is gonna go wrong and I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna learn from it. So it's gonna be fine.
Correct.
With the CMA, I'm having a harder time because I feel like I'm giving people, like I'm taking responsibility for selling their home.
Okay. Yeah. That's what we do in real estate.
Mhm.
I thank you for your authenticity. What if next week, or excuse me, on our next coaching call, you present the listing presentation to me, and I'm going to be the client. And I think we need to do it on a real house. And uh, what I think, what do you think would be the correct way to do that? I mean, do you want to pick a house that wasn't expired that you can look at the pictures and then you can understand it? And then we will break that down. But we'll start off by you just doing a listing presentation with me, and you're going to pick the comps. All right? And you'll go through it the way that I did. All right, cool.
For CMA, I think we had a great call last time when you explained me how to do it. You know, I feel like in my brain, I have to actually go to a listing presentation, present the CMA, sell the house at that price, and then I would believe that I know how to do a CMA, you know?
Okay. Um, and yet, until you do it, you won't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
My suggestion would be call that lady back, ask her, say, you know what, you've been on my mind. Uh, and I really want to see you get a result. And I know that I can do this and make it easy for you. Uh, is there a neighbor that's nearby that, is perhaps it can let me into the house so that I can see it? Or um, is there a key on the property somewhere where perhaps I can get into the house? And or you can say, you know what? Frequently, homes are listed, and because of distance, I will do a market analysis and I'll go through the comps. And can I rely on you? Let me do this market analysis. And can I rely on you to help me as we go through the market analysis to tell me, hey, I've choose a good comp, or my house is nicer, or my house is not as nice. Let me do a market analysis. Let's schedule a time to go over it via Zoom. And then let's understand the market together. And then if things make sense, then I'll get out to the property and let's get this started so that we can get you sold. And then don't worry about the CMA. We can figure that out. All right. That's the least of our worries for real. Um, and schedule an appointment with her. Work on that. That's a lot of discovery, Elizaveta. And I appreciate your authenticity. That's significant clarity. Don't give, those are the ones that make a difference. What's that price point of that house?
It's around 200. It's a condo.
Oh, okay, condo. Got it. And then condos, I don't have to tell you, you just stay in the same building or
Yeah.
you stay in the same complex. And then the other thing that you've got to be mindful of is what's going on with that association, because that can have a lot to do with the saleability of it.
And what can be happening in the association
So
that
what you
would,
want to, yeah, what you want to look for is you want to ask questions around, are there special assessments in place? Are your, like currently, most recently, Florida law has made it so that reserves have to be beefed up. They have to be higher amounts of reserves. Um, so I would ask questions like, what's happening in your association? How are the reserves? Have there been any insurance claims recently? Because they may not even have insurance or the community is seeking insurance. Have dues gone up? And when you run the community and you look at the days on market, and if they're like ridiculously long, the other thing you can do is you can call properties that have sold or agents that have a unit that's on the market for a long time. Call them up and say, hey, I've got a really good client that's got a unit in the building that you're in. What can you tell me about the association? And a lot of times you'll get an earful and you'll know what's going on because you want to know that before you go into the appointment because she may not know what's going on with her own association. And I don't know about your MLS, but in our MLS, they have to post the phone number and the name of the the association management company.
they don't have to.
Oh, okay. All right. So maybe then you can get that from the agent. They might have it.
Mhm.
And, don't do any of that research until the appointment's set.
Yeah.
Don't waste
Okay.
your time. Take action like you have been. What about what happened with, and are you still wanting to pursue probates?
I do.
Okay. So tell me what that looks like for you right now. I mean, I don't know, based on your bandwidth, is that something that you're ready to take on?
Do you think I should? That's the question. Because
Okay.
it's not a question of whether I should take probate on in general or it's a question of whether I should take it on right now.
All right. What is it that would keep you from doing it?
I do not I don't have a reasonable answer to your question.
All right. Because here's what I know, Elizaveta. Um, I listed 26 probates last year, or excuse me, the year before. Last year was my screw up year. It's only 13. And that's very real. This year, I know I probably have 20 so far this year. I've got 25 listings, and what I'm noticing is probably at least a third, to at least a half of those are probate. And the difference between expired and probate is a very blue ocean. You know what that means, right?
I have an idea.
Okay, so yeah, expireds, if you're calling them too late in the day, it's a red ocean, right? There's a lot of blood in the water. There's
Yeah,
a lot
I've
of
noticed that at 8:15 expired stop picking up the phone.
yes, 7:30 is very important. That's why. And then also old expireds are very important because their cage hasn't been rattled for a while. So if you're able to, and I think I remember, check with Vulcan 7 and ask, are you able to discern, are you able to get me a list of old expireds and confirm if, and will this list confirm that they're not back on the market yet. But back to probate. Sorry, I didn't mean to switch gears on you. I just remembered what what you discovered on our mastermind call on Tuesday. Yeah, probates are people are just motivated. And how many people are going to be out of state that need help that don't even know where to begin? It's it's a blue ocean. It's going to be a great opportunity for you. There's no doubt in my mind. And you got me to role play with. I'll guide you through that.
I
So,
appreciate that.
yeah,
Why why more agents are not calling probate?
because I spoke to an agent in Melbourne
Mhm.
yesterday, and he said, "Well, who are you calling, Mark?" Because I've known him for a long time through Mike Ferry, right? And I said, "Well," I said, "I don't. I just focus on database and I focus on probate." And he said, "Well, what do you got to do probates?" And I described to him like how my friend from the opera, Melanie, how she goes into the database, in the courthouse database, she pulls the information, she sends it over to my VA, and my VA looks up the numbers on Forewarn, and then they've load them in, and I just call them. And he said, "Wow, that just sounds like a lot of steps, a lot of process." We all put up walls. We put up walls, right? Um, People will have the perspective that, how dare I call them? They just had someone die. They still need help. So I don't know. I mean, those were the reasons that I put up a wall with when I first started doing this. Like, should I be calling them? Or oh my gosh, I don't have time to get all these numbers. Well, I've already connected you with Melanie, right? And I know that you could get someone to look up these numbers for you on Forewarn. It's just a matter of getting the process in place, and then you're going to have numbers to be calling. So if you were to take that next step, what would that look like?
I do have a question for you. If, for instance, I currently don't have a budget to have someone help me get the numbers and go through for one and make a spreadsheet, etc., etc.,
Right, right, right.
would you say it's gonna be useful to do it myself?
It's going to take a lot of time, Elizaveta. My thought is then, and thanks for your authenticity, because we always want to lead with revenue. So, you've just said a lot there. Why don't you focus on getting some closings and then we'll reevaluate. So now you've got even more motivation.
Probate, I've been going through my head, like what would stop me from actually getting probate. And besides budgeting, at this point at least, I cannot come up with something.
All right. So then wouldn't it make sense then to understand what the cost would be?
I did understand what the cost would be.
Okay. All right.
I did
And
speak to Melanie and
you
we
did.
have figured out, yeah, the cost.
All right, good. So what I would do is what's the cost? What would it come to for you?
Her rate is $200 per month per country per county.
Okay. So it's $200 per month per county, right?
Mhm.
Is that getting also the numbers from Forewarn? Because you're going to have to, I would say if you go to Outwork,
Outwork?
yeah, Outwork is a place where you can get someone to do jobs.
Oh, Upwork.
Thank you, Upwork. I'm sorry. If you go to Upwork and put it out there that you want someone to take the leads that Melanie would provide you, use your Forewarn and look up the numbers individually. How
Mhm.
much would that cost? See if you can get a bid on that.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. If you get two closings from expireds, or how many closings would you need to get for you to feel comfortable to start spending $200 a month? Because I will say this, when you start calling through that list of probates, you're going to get opportunity.
Mhm.
It's going to happen. And in your area, what's the average commission?
I think it's 10 or $15,000. I think it's closer to 15 right now.
All right. So if you're spending, let's say, call it even $400 a month and you get a closing for, 15 grand, it, it's worth it, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a matter of priming that pump.
Mhm.
So I think the fact that you've taken the steps to understand what it's going to cost, you've gone further than most. So, if that is your rally cry, that's part of your why right now, because that's the business growth part of your why. Because if you can get there, and then even if you just get one closing a month from probate, what does that do for you? Another, what is that, $180,000 a year in income with your average commission. That's travel.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's real. And that's why you don't give up. Find the role play partners. So between now and next week, what is it that you're going to do about the role play partners? How many will you find?
So I'm gonna finish this week's cycle
Yeah.
because I'm already role
Well,
playing
between now and our
people.
next call. So,
Okay. I will make sure I have a role play partner twice a day, daily from Monday to Friday. I will prepare for the listing presentation to Mark.
yeah.
And I will check out how much it's going to cost me to hire someone on Upwork for the
Yeah.
probate.
Because once you know that, and even if you just go into Upwork and say, because I can ask my VA, I can ask her, I can say, hey, how long does it take you to look up 50 leads using Forewarn? And then she'll tell me how long. And then you can go in there and you can just see, what the cost per hour typically is. And then you're going to know that. Because if you're getting 200 leads a month, then you know that's how long it's going to take. So I'll find that out for you from Melissa. And then you're going to prepare for the listing presentation and you're also going to do a CMA, right?
Yes, I will.
Because you're going to present on Zoom to me.
Yes.
All right. And you're going to present from the multiple listing service. And then we're going to record it and then we're going to be able to evaluate it. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, you're making great strides, Elizaveta. You are taking action. And although it may not feel like you're taking action, do you see what I want to reflect to you what you said is you realize that you're not getting enough role play partners. What you realized is you were actually this close to setting an appointment with someone that actually really needs your help,
Mhm.
right? So you're that close. Now, whenever you're on the phone, I'd like you to put up a sign in front of you and I want this sign to say, ask one more question than you're comfortable asking. Or it could just say, ask one more question, and you'll know what that means.
Okay.
Make sure that you're going a step, leaning into the discomfort. And then when you hang up the phone and you've got the solution, call them back. Yeah, yeah, yeah.